Hello, everybody. This is AG here, and welcome to the Charlotte Motor Speedway and the beginning of the second half of the season here in the Wawa Sprint Series 2023, leading up to the best weekend in motorsports. We are excited for Saturday's Indianapolis 250 and this race leading up to Friday night's Coca-Cola 600. It's going to be the longest race of the season over there in the Wawa Cup Series, but tonight it's the longest race of the season in the Wawa Sprint Series, only at 25 laps here around this 1.5 mile speedway for Sprint Series night in America. Join alongside a couple of guys who have drivers in that Indianapolis 250 coming on Saturday, and in Matt Tuck's case, you're also going to be in the Coca-Cola 600 as well. But for these guys in particular, what do these guys need to do, Matt, to get to victory lane here and have a shot at that Coca-Cola 600?
You just need to not crash and find the clean air and just go zoom, zoom, zoom. It's only a 25-lap race, so as we always say, track position is the absolute king here, and especially if you're the guys in the back, you have to be able to just slice and dice through the field as quickly as possible.
And Josh, your driver, Skylar Taylor, driving the 45 once again. They've won in that car 3 times this season, including last week at North Wilkesboro. You guys actually do start deep in the field, though, so what do you guys need to do to work your way from the back to the front here in only 25 laps?
Well, it's a 20-car field as opposed to a 40-car field for this one. And, there's plenty of time to get up through the field if you want to go and make the 600, but... well, you're going to need to do it quick. 25 laps can go by very fast, especially at a track like this. So I would imagine, at least for this one, you're going to want to get down to the inside just as quickly as you possibly can. And, well, I do believe both of them are starting up on the outside. So might be best to slip to the back first and then start picking off cars one by one. But then you run into another problem. You've got to get underneath the car in front of you first. So that's going to be a very challenging thing for them, but it's going to be interesting to see if they can pull it off.
And it will be interesting to see who ends up going to victory lane here tonight in the longest race of the season. In the point standings, it's starting to really pull away now. We really are starting to see our 10 drivers who are going to be in that chase, but still 5 races left to go. Anything can happen. Some of these guys might miss races in the next 5 weeks. Who knows? But Skylar Taylor, the new points leader, they're 86 points ahead of the cutoff. Trey Bartow's 81 points ahead. Sam at Oskim 79 points ahead. Jim Vincent left 76 ahead. Avery Alford 68 ahead. Benny Moore 63 ahead. Of course, those have been the big 6 all season. Joe Rutkowski is now 30 points ahead. Cole Raymond 20 points ahead. Philip Torres 19 points ahead. And Luna Lona 18 points ahead. And then the cutoff right there, 18 points behind is Bruno Diacomo, but for him, he does start second. The thing is, Diacomo starts third, and Luna Lona starts second, so it's going to be interesting to see how those guys end up interacting. Dale Johnson, the second, also trying to go for that chase spot. He's 19 points behind coming into this race, starting on the inside lane in the number 33. And then Will Parrish, 29 points behind. Emily Bull, not in this race, 40 points behind. Roy Rippleton, 61 points behind. So the odds for those guys in the back, pretty slim, especially with only 5 races left to go. But hey, anything's possible. And like I said, some of these guys might miss signups in the next few weeks. And hopefully we don't have any more snafus in signups again. I apologize for the signups in this race. YouTube did not process the video in time. I gave it plenty of time, and it just decided not to process the video, and it didn't go up at 7:30. It went up at like 7:43 or something like that. But hey, all the championship contenders still in this race, including Joe Rutkowski starting on the pole alongside him, Luna Lona in the 00 starting on the outside pole, Bruno Diacomo and Avery Alford there in row number 2, Angel Gutierrez and the 02 of Roy Rippleton. You got the 78 of Josh Harmon and the 85 of Philip Torres. Jim Vincent left back in the 07 with Trey Bartow in the 80. Dale Johnson the second alongside Cole Raymond in the 83 machine. Good opportunity for him to get something done. Mason Brown and Skylar Taylor there in row number 7. Benny Moore in the 96 and the 01 of Will Parrish. Sam at Ozkin deep in the field to start this one, alongside the 7 of Chris Tejada, making his first start of the season. He'll be in the Freedom 50 on Friday. So will Stephen Colon in the 60. He'll be in that Freedom 50 race in a couple days. And Ethan Lois. That's a name we haven't said in quite a while here on the channel. Great to see Ethan back behind the wheel, starting 20th there for Rain Motorsports. We'll go ahead and get these guys to roll off here from the Charlotte Motor Speedway. 25 laps, longest race of the season, but still no pit stops. Matt and then Josh, who do you guys think is going to go to victory lane here in this 25-lap race at Charlotte?
Well, I honestly have no idea how this race is going to play out, but I'm going to take I'm just going to go with a safe pick here and take one of these drivers from the front row, and I'm going to take Luna Lona in the 00. We'll get the victory for Cash Motorsports.
I'm going to go back a couple of rows here, but I'm going to stay on that inside, and I'm going to pick the 56 of Angel Gutierrez to go to victory lane for this one. I think 5th place is a good spot to start. It's a quick little 25-lap race. Don't know if there's going to be a lot of shuffling going on, but I do kind of expect that the winner would come from the front.
And I would expect that as well. It's been the case for a lot of the races as of late here in the Wawa Sprint Series. But hey, anybody can win it. 25 laps, the longest race of the season. And of course, the top 4 finishers will race on Friday night, for the Coca-Cola 600. Going to be very interesting to see how this race plays out. Hey, the last time we were on a mile and a half, Joe Rutkowski led every single lap to go to victory lane. We'll have to see if he can do so there in that 74. Pace cars down the pit lane. Here we go. We're green flag racing here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway in the Wawa Sprint Series. Pretty even going off into one right there. Bruno Diacomo looking to the inside of Luna Lona, but Rutkowski going to clear the outside and take the race lead away here on lap 1.
A great run there off the start by the 74, pulling away for the time being. Here comes the 40 of Bruno Diacomo down to the inside of the 00 of Luna Lona, side by side, deadlocked for second at the 74 of Joe Rutkowski going to pull away, lead lap number 1. The 56, a little further behind there. Angel Gutierrez in behind the 40, trying to get going here. That inside is not getting going as much as they thought they would. The outside lane's hanging tough so far. It's 3 wide back here and into the wall.
Dale Johnson, the second there in the 33. That's going to split the pack up a little bit. And how about Josh Harmon going 3 wide there for the 4th position? But how about Joe Rutkowski just pulling away like crazy in that 74 right now? And these guys, I feel like they might be a little bit hung up there from Luna Lona and Bruno Diacomo. They might be slowing these guys down, and it's really tight there in this second pack.
They're absolutely trying to gain as much position as they can. We saw that 00 get to the top of the racetrack, really sort of cause a stack up, and then the 78, the 75, all working their way in there. Avery Alford, Josh Harmon, everybody just trying to work their way up as fast as we can. See the NS Racing Machine of Trey Bartow. I remember a few memes regarding Trey Bartow, but he's working his way through here as he looks to transfer his way into the main race here. And he's also had a great season as he sits second in the points.
And Dale Johnson again in the outside wall back in there in the 33 machine. Hey, you mentioned Trey Bartow. We got a bit of surprise for you guys on Friday. Trey Bartow in the booth with me for the Freedom 50. That's going to be a real treat here in less than 48 hours. But Trey Bartow's yet to go to victory lane here in the Wawa Sprint Series, but he's now in a position to advance onto the Coke 600 at least. Looking to the inside of Avery Alford. Josh Harmon is second, but a second lead for Joe Rutkowski, looking to get his second win of the season and his second win here in the month of May. And trying to get those bonus points going into the chase. You know, if he gets another win here, he's going to have enough of a cushion to make it into the chase. But, of course, bonus points will be awarded based on how many wins you have. You get 3 points for each win. And, of course, the points leader, the regular season champion, gets a 15-point bonus, with 9 points going to second in points, 8 points to third place, and so on throughout the top 10. So you're going to start out that chase with a decent amount of bonus points. And considering that these guys get half the amount of points that the Wawa Cup Series drivers do, those bonus points are going to come into effect much more here in the Wawa Sprint Series than they will in the Cup Series. But Going to be interesting to see if Joe Rutkowski can hold these guys off. Josh Harmon and Trey Bartow closing in right here. Mason Brown up to 4th. And they got Jim Vincent left back in the 07 like he's supposed to be. There for 5th on Avery Alford.
And they cut the lead in half up front. The 78 of Josh Harmon closing on the 74 of Rutkowski with Trey Bartow not far behind. We'll see if the lead gets shrunk a little more this time. I believe it will. Good run there by the 78 trying to close in on Rutkowski. And Rutkowski, we'll see, he may have used up his stuff. It cut in half again, down to 0.23 from 0.41.
He had a second lead not too long ago. Now it's 0.2 of a second as Harmon continues to reel in this 74. Great run here for Trey Bartow as well. I'd watch out for this 80 machine as this race goes along. And you got yourself Titan Fury Racing teammates of Mason Brown and Jim Vincent left there. Starting the single file out here throughout the field. Cole Raymond moving up there. Luna falling back, and unfortunately for Bruno Diacomo, just not able to keep the speed in this car. And keep in mind, ratings are absolutely in effect at this point for the cars here in the Wawa Sprint Series, and I think certain teams absolutely have the advantage on others, and I think that has been Diacomo's Achilles heel. I think if he's in a better car, he would absolutely be contending for that last chase spot, but he's lost a lot of ground, going to lose another position right there, as we know that 45 is good, isn't it, Josh? You guys have definitely been putting a lot into your team, I know that much. Great to see Chris Tejada behind the wheel here, and then the 77 of Ethan Lewis, Chris Aliera's team. Both two drivers making their first starts this season, but they both made plenty of starts in the past, and for Chris Tejada's case, he'll be in the Freedom 50 on Friday. Joe Rutkowski, Josh Harmon, Trey Bartow, Mason Brown, and here we go for 5th as Avery Alford moves to the inside of Vincent left. Pretty strung out right now here at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Joe Rutkowski, obviously, see that 74 machine, definitely a machine that's got strong ratings behind it there. That team's figured it out. And another team that's definitely figured it out is this 80 car for NS Racing. You see Bartow to the inside of Josh Harmon. And we see Rutkowski, that 75 car was able to get close to the back bumper of Joe Rutkowski, but once he got there, he just never could close the gap all the way. I'm sorry, that's not 78 of Josh Harmon. Was able to get there and just was never able to bring the gap all the way in, but now we're going to watch two people who have spent a lot of time in a commentary booth together, and Trey Bartow and Joe Rutkowski fight each other out.
I will say, we've already recorded the Freedom 50, so, Trey and I have already talked, and he said when he's in the booth with Joe doing his Monster Jam stuff on BeamMG and all that, they always talk about them beating one another, and like, hey, I finished higher than you, but Rutkowski is the only one of these two who have gone the victory lane so far this season. I know Trey Bartow wants to change that. It's been such a great season for Bartow. 13 top 10s in 15 races. Not too shabby for the number 80. Clearly going to make the chase, but he's yet to go to victory lane. Well, that might change right here to the inside for the race lead. Halfway through this Wawa Sprint Series race at Charlotte. We're going to have to see if Rutkowski can hold the outside, but Trey Bartow for NS Racing looking to get it done here on this mile and a half, and Bartow's going to lead that lap right there in the number 80 machine.
He's looking to take the points lead as well, only coming 5 points back behind Skylar Taylor. And Skylar Taylor's haven't had a horrible qualifying run and is deep in the field. Here comes the 78 of Harmon down to the inside, looking to dive in and potentially take that race lead away. Oh, he bumps the 80 of Bartow.
He got him a little loose into the corner, and how about this for Josh Harmon? Andrews Racing has yet to go to victory lane yet this season in the Wawa Sprint Series, or the Wawa Cup Series for that matter. But here they are, battling for this win with some of the powerhouse teams. And Andrews Racing, they've been picking some things back up, I will say. So not too much of a surprise at this point in the season. But look at this. Rutkowski's still very much in this thing. Mason Brown still very much in this thing in the number 4 machine. And keep in mind, Mason Brown, he's 61 points behind. It's going to take a lot for him to make it in, but a win would absolutely be great for that team. Still side by side is Harmon going to lead another lap here. Bart's is still in that outside lane. And we got ourselves 10 laps to go here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway in the Wawa Sprint Series.
I think Bartow's just going to have to give the lane up there to Josh Harmon in the 78. I know Bartow's going to fight to the end, fight to hold off his old ride in that number 4 machine as Mason Brown ducks in behind Bartow. And now they're single filing back out. And now they have to be careful here in this up at this front here. Barto goes to the lead, but watch out for the rest of this pack. We can see a couple cars here in the background. We've got 3-4 cars closing in, and this is about to be a tough race with about 8-9 laps to go here as the 78 is in the wall now.
He's not actually in the wall. He's just about as close as he can get to it without actually hitting it. He took the Larson line there off the exit of turn 2 and got the momentum to clear Barto. How about that move right there? And meanwhile, you have Jim Vincent left, Cole Raymond here, Philip Torres reeling back into this lead battle. I feel like any of these guys can win this race now. How about Cole Raymond in this 83? First time he's been in that 83, I think, for your team, Josh, and doing an excellent job there for Trinity River Racing. Meanwhile, Rutkowski back on Barto as Josh Harmon continues to lead this race. But still, we have ourselves next time by 7 laps to go here at Charlotte, but Harmon trying to pull away now from these guys as they battle for second.
And he's not going to want to get too comfy because he's got Rutkowski, who's dominated the race so far, and Barto, who's been absolutely just fast all night as well. It's these top 3 that have dominated the race so far tonight.
Look at that.
Barto back into the second position underneath Rutkowski. Jim Vincent lived there, the 07 not far behind, and now knocking on the door for the race lead, Trey Barto in behind Josh Harmon.
And Barto closed in on Harmon when he made the pass on Rutkowski, and you know you got a strong car if you could do that, but oh boy, Rutkowski looked, but so did Vincent left, and here comes Barto back to the inside for the race lead. 6 laps to go here at Charlotte. I'd watch out for Jim Vincent left, looking for his 3rd win of the season here in this 07. He has crept through the field very well here tonight, and taking advantage of the extra length in this race. 25 laps instead of the usual 17 or the one time he had 21 at Texas. But Barto able to pull away there from Harmon. And it may finally happen here tonight, where Mr. Barto gets that Sprint Series win. Vincent left, though, is going to have a shot here. And I know Josh Harmon would love to be in the Coke 600, trying to hold on here for the 78 team. And then you got Cole Raymond now in the 4th position in the transfer spot with Rutkowski, Mason Brown, Philip Torres, and Avery Alford all in a line right here, coming to 4 laps to go.
Now all of a sudden, with the entire, basically about half the field right behind him, battling each other for position, Barto's now able to do what Joe Rutkowski was able to do early in the race, and he's able to build himself a nice little cushion, half a second here at the line, and now that 07's going to slide the hill.
3 wide for second. Cole Raymond looking to the inside of Vincent left and Harmon. And if this 83 can clear quickly, he may have a shot on Barto. Still 3 wide through turns 3 and 4. Harmon trying to get the run on the outside. He holds on to it. That's exactly what Barto wants to see with 3 laps to go. This is going to slow these guys down tremendously, and they continue the battle for position. Vincent left almost getting into the wall there with Harmon, and Cole Raymond will clear for second. But the battle's on for the transfer spot. These 4 guys, all these guys trying to get that 4th position and make it onto the Coke 600. Rutkowski to the inside of Mason Brown, but Brown going to have the run on the outside as Raymond now trying to close in on Barto, but it's 2 laps to go here at Charlotte.
Yeah, Raymond was probably going to have a chance to catch up to Trey Barto, but the last time through turn 1 and 2 when they were 3 wide, he caught the apron. That slowed everybody up. But now you said the battle for 4th is on.
This is for 5th now between Rutkowski, Alford, and Mason Brown. Josh Harmon comfortably in that 4th position, but Trey Barto comfortably in the lead. 16 straight races in this series for Trey Barto, and it looks like he might finally get it done. The same can be said for Cole Raymond, who has made every start this season. Neither of them have gone the victory lane yet this year in the Wawa Sprint Series, but I think one of them will. A good run there for Raymond, but he's just too far behind to get it done. Trey Barto continuing to lead this race. And the last transfer spot does not look like Rutkowski's going to make it on. Harmon with a great drive in that 78 machine. But it's Trey Barto for NS Racing coming out of turn number 4. Trey Barto wins the Wawa Sprint Series at Charlotte. Cole Raymond, Jim Vincent left, and Josh Harmon will all be running in the longest race of the season in the Coca-Cola 600 on Friday night.
Cole Raymond got that dog in him there because that was an absolute mega series sequence of overtakes he used there to get by multiple cars and then hold off some cars. But Trey Barto also had a fight for that too. Worked his way through the field, and he will be racing. He keeps dancing, and he will be racing again later this weekend.
And I think he just danced his way into the points lead here in the Wawa Sprint
believe
Series
he
as
did
well.
too.
Because Skylar Taylor, not a bad run for him, but 10th. Nothing too special right there. Tough break for Bruno Diacomo. Started second in this race, fell back to 19th. And if that isn't a sign that those cars aren't running too well, I don't know what is. But Trey Barto and NS Racing, they get it done. Trying to think, NS Racing, they won the first race of the season with Benny Moore. I can't remember if they've actually won another race since, but hey, they got one here. Nathan Stapleton gets the win as the owner with Trey Barto getting it done here in the Sprint Series at Charlotte. Of course, he along with Cole Raymond, Jim Vincent and Josh Harmon making it on. And what a race. And Josh and Matt, how do you think the Coke 600 is going to play out? 100 laps, 150 miles. It's tied with the second longest race that we run on the channel now, tied with the Thanksgiving 500, which is also 150 miles. How do you think the race is going to play out on Friday night?
I don't know if it's good. I don't think it's going to play out quite like what we saw here tonight. I think with the bigger field is going to lend itself to more shuffling, as you saw in this one. The field got fairly strung out for a while, but then they accordioned together when it seemed like, well, just the ones at the front, Josh Harmon and Joe Rutkowski, they just used up their stuff. Barto was able to capitalize on that. Of the three guys that had been up there all night long, Barto seemed like he did the best job waiting to the end to conserve his stuff. But for the 600, again, I think it's going to be the bigger field's going to lend it to a lot more shuffling. We're going to have a lot of strategy taking place too. I'm not sure how many pit cycles we're going to have, but it being a 100 lap race, I imagine we'd probably have about 2 or 3. So the strategy ratings with the pit crews are definitely going to come into play, and of course the drivers, surely they've been doing their ratings too. Although bless Trey, I don't know if he's had a chance to, but God bless him.
The Sprint Series drivers don't get an opportunity to adjust the driver ratings. But Salmon Oskin won that Dover race 12 of the season. He kind of contended in the winner's showdown yesterday. Didn't quite have it there, but going to be interesting to see how it all goes down on Friday night. Guys, of course, the Indianapolis 250 coming up on Saturday. That is the big race. Some of the guys who are in the Sprint Series race are going to be racing. Cole Raymond is a full-time IndyCar Series driver. Some of these guys did fail to qualify, so I'm going to go ahead and ask you, and, they don't know. Josh and Matt don't know because they haven't seen qualifying yet. I did disclose that they both got their drivers in, but outside of that, who do you guys think, other than yourself, don't pick yourself, who do you guys think is going to win the Indianapolis 250 on Saturday?
Obviously, oh man, that's a tough one, but it'll be the person who will win the Indianapolis 250 will be whoever's in second place when they come and take the white flag. That's my vision of what could happen. What will happen in the Indianapolis 250? I don't know who that will be, but it will be somebody. And hopefully I'm just not the one leading.
Yeah, ain't that the truth. I just hope that when it gets to that point, I'm there at the end to see the finish on the racetrack. But we just know it's going to be a fantastic race. It always is. It's always just worth the price of admission for everything. I will say though, and we never know how it's going to play out until the race plays out itself. But Trey Smith was leading at the white flag last year, and Zachary Fitzwater wasn't quite able to get around. So maybe sometime, granted, it was only those two that were really fighting for the win. So it's also going to depend on how many cars are running up towards the front. If it's no more than about 4, I would say the positions probably stay the same for at least up front, at least the top 2 spots. But you get about 5 or more cars up there, yeah, there's going to be a lot of shuffling going on. And if that's the case, like I think back to the 2021 race or the 2020 race. 2020 race with the pit strategy stuff that's going on, the fuel mileage finish. and that's going to be something else that could come into play, no doubt about it. But man, it's tough to pick. It's tough to pick a winner just out of the whole field. But to be honest with you, if I had to pick one, he was really good on the ovals last year, so I'll say Zachary Fitzwater.
Not a bad pick. Fitzwater's never failed to finish outside the top 10 in the Indianapolis 250. Going to be interesting. Saturday, May 27th at noon Eastern Time. Can't wait for it. And tomorrow, Freedom 50 qualifying, Silver Car qualifying for those guys. The Freedom 50 is absolutely another race you guys don't want to miss. Barto's in the booth, and let me tell you, we already recorded it. That was an excellent race. That'll be Friday at noon Eastern Time. Carb Day practice is going to be just before that for the Indianapolis 250, and then Friday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, it's the Coca-Cola 600. In regards to the Wawa Sprint Series, signups for Gateway have already happened. They happened last night, 6:30 p.m. last night, so you guys already knew that. So no signups tonight for the Wawa Sprint Series because I'm at work right now, and then tomorrow I head for Indianapolis and the Indianapolis 500. So yeah, that's just the reasoning for all of that right there. But hey, Trey Barto gets it done here in the Wawa Sprint Series at Charlotte. Starting lineup for the Coke 600 right there on the right-hand side of your screen. Huge thanks to Matt Tuck and Josh Williamson for helping me call this one. And we'll see you guys tomorrow for Freedom 50 qualifying from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And, of course, on Saturday, May 27th, for the Indianapolis 250. Thank you guys so much for watching once again. Congratulations to Trey Barto. And here are the points for the Wawa Sprint Series after 16 races. I will see you guys later.